Ever feel like you're in the dark when it comes to your health? You know, like you're facing a health challenge, but the tests are unclear,
Right.
and you and your doctor are left kind of scratching your heads,
Yeah.
especially with something as complex as liver disease.
Yeah. It's really tough.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
But what if we could change that? What if there was a way to get a much clearer picture of what's happening inside our bodies? To see those early warning signs of disease, that's the promise of Destina Genomics, and that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, Destina Genomics, they're doing some really, really interesting stuff.
They really are. And they're focusing on something that's often overlooked in traditional diagnostics, RNA.
RNA is fascinating, right? It's like the messenger molecule. It carries those vital instructions from our genes to the rest of the cell.
Okay, so like a blueprint.
Exactly. And by analyzing RNA, Destina can see these subtle changes, these really early warning signals that you might miss if you were just looking at DNA or proteins.
This is like getting a sneak peek behind the scenes before the main event even starts.
Yeah, exactly. It's giving us a much more complete picture of what's really going on at that cellular level.
And this is where their technology comes in.
It is.
They develop these things called smart nucleobases and DGL probes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to admit, that sounds a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Can you break it down? What are these things and what do they do?
Okay, so imagine you're trying to find like a very specific word
Okay.
in a gigantic library.
Okay.
That's kind of what detecting a specific RNA molecule is like, right? It's like finding a needle in a haystack. So Destina's smart nucleobases and these DGL probes, they're like these really, really powerful magnets for those RNA needles.
Oh, why?
They bind directly to that target RNA, which means they can skip a step.
What step?
A step called PCR amplification.
PCR amplification. Okay, what is that?
So that's like the traditional way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
PCR amplification makes copies of the RNA so you have enough to actually detect it.
Okay.
But you can kind of think of it like making copies on a copy machine.
Uh-huh.
Eventually, you start to get little errors, right? Things get a little fuzzy.
Right.
What Destina's doing is they're like, we can actually skip that whole copying process altogether.
Wow.
They're going straight to the source, which means you get faster results and they're much more accurate.
So are we talking about a future where you could just get like a simple blood test and it could tell you all these things?
You got it.
Wow.
And the really cool thing is that they've designed this technology to work with the systems that are already in place, you know?
Oh, okay.
The immunoassay platforms that are already in labs and hospitals.
So it could be rolled out fairly easily.
Exactly. It could be adopted very easily, which means that this type of early detection could be available to everyone.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
a really big deal. But it's not just about the technology itself.
Yeah.
Destina's actually developing marketable products.
Right. They're not just playing around in the lab.
Right.
They're actually trying to bring this to people who need it.
Exactly. They've got this incredible technology, but they're also putting it to practical use. One thing that really caught my eye was their liverase assay series. It sounds promising, but let's get real. How close are they to making a difference for patients in the real world?
They're closer than you might think. Their RUO liverase assay is already being used in drug discovery research. And they're not just dipping their toes in. They've partnered with Merck KGaA, a major player in the pharmaceutical industry. Merck is already using and even marketing Destina's technology, which is a huge vote of confidence.
Wow. So they're already making waves in the research world. But what about actual diagnostics for patients? That's what I'm really excited about.
That's where the Destina Combo liverase assay comes in. It's a game changer. This assay is designed to simultaneously detect both protein and RNA biomarkers for liver injury. It's the first of its kind. Imagine getting a more complete and accurate picture of your liver health from just one test.
Okay, that's seriously impressive. I can see why you called it a game changer, but I have to ask, when can we expect to see this technology being used in hospitals? I'm sure our listeners are wondering the same thing.
Destina is aiming for EU approval in 2027 and FDA approval in 2028.
2028, that's just a few years away. It feels surprisingly soon considering the hurdles involved in bringing new medical technologies to market. It seems like Destina has a solid plan and is moving at lightning speed. But I'm curious, are they limiting themselves to just liver disease? So we've seen how Destina is poised to really shake up liver disease diagnostics, but their ambition doesn't stop there.
No, not at all.
This technology has the potential to change how we approach a whole range of diseases.
It really does, and that's what's so exciting about this platform-agnostic approach.
Platform agnostic.
Yeah, so the same core principles they're using to detect liver injury, they can apply that to other conditions too.
Oh, wow.
It's like they've created this universal translator for diseases.
So beyond this breakthrough with liver disease detection, Are there any other medical mysteries on Destina's radar? What else could this technology help us solve?
Well, they've already announced a collaboration with Mequin's SA to develop something called a Combomo neuroassay.
Okay, so we're talking about neurological diseases now,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Alzheimer's.
Bingo.
Wow, that's a huge area, and they desperately need better diagnostic tools.
Absolutely. Right now, in Alzheimer's diagnosis, it often happens way too late when treatment options are really limited.
Right.
If Destina can identify those early biological markers, using RNA, it could be revolutionary for millions of people.
You really could. This is all seriously impressive stuff, and
Yeah.
it sounds like Destina is aiming high, not just scientifically, but also as a company.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
We've got some financial documents here, and it seems like they're thinking long term.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're currently trying to raise $3 million in funding.
That's significant.
It is, but if their projections are accurate, those investments could pay off big time.
They're talking about huge revenue growth by 2030, right?
Yeah, and they've even hinted at a potential exit within 6 to 7 years.
So for our listener who's following the business side of all this,
Yeah.
Destina is definitely one to watch. But beyond the financials, what does this mean for the future of healthcare? It feels like we're on the verge of something really big here.
We are. This is pointing to a future of truly personalized medicine where diagnoses are faster, more accurate, and tailored to each individual person.
So we're not just reacting to disease, we're getting ahead of it.
Exactly, and understanding it at a much deeper level than we ever have before.
It's incredibly exciting. Destina is painting this picture of a world where we have the power to see those early warning signs and actually do something about them.
It is exciting and a little bit mind-blowing when you really think about it.
It really is. It's been amazing to take this deep dive into the world of Destina Genomics, and I have a feeling this is just the beginning of their story.
I think you're right. Who knows what other medical breakthroughs are on the horizon thanks to their work?
It's an exciting time to be following these advancements. For the deep dive, I'm your host, signing off.